Kyle. How are you? Thank you so much for being with me today.
I'm doing well, Risa. Thanks so much for having me.
So, today we're going to talk women's health. We're going to talk vaginas. We're going to talk all good things on how to make it happy and healthy. Um, and I feel like this is a topic that we don't discuss enough, especially even amongst women, which is crazy to me. Um, so, as we kind of get into it, I'd love to hear your story, your background on how you even came to create a vaginal health product like Quim. Like, this is amazing. We're going to talk more about this, but
Great, yeah. So Quim was really born out of my own personal vaginal health struggles. All of the women in my family are super susceptible to UTIs, yeast infections, inflammation, pain with penetration, pain post penetration. And I got my first UTI when I was about 18. That escalated into a kidney infection, put me in the hospital. I had to go on multiple rounds of antibiotics. And I
oh
think,
my God.
yeah, I think we all know, antibiotics are a godsend when you really need them. But they also wipe your body of all the good bacteria that fights off other infections. Um, and so lo and behold, right after I got that, overcame that UTI and then kidney infection, I got a yeast infection. And that process of UTI yeast infection, it continued for about 8 years. It's like thank God for both antibiotics and yeast infection medications, but the ingredients in yeast infection medications can be really drying, sending you right back to potentially the KY that started all of this. Over 50% of people with vaginas prefer to use some type of personal lubricant while having sex. And that's great because more lubrication equals less friction. Friction is one of the leading causes of a lot of the vaginal pain, or, can really jumpstart, BV or a yeast infection. But most of the most widely available and easily accessible lubricants are glycerin based. So the Astroglides, KYs, and glycerin is a metabolic byproduct of sugar. So every time you're using those, you're feeding all of the, flora and fauna in your vagina, and it can really get out of control pretty quickly. Also, if you're
So, what
using,
does that mean though? So, does that mean more significant yeast infections or anything if you use those kind of products?
I
Or
think, it varies person to person. Everyone's body is different. It's connected to your diet, how often you exercise, whether or not you shower immediately after exercising, or if you continue wearing, compressive leggings all day long that are not super breathable and just make a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. So I would say it varies person to person. A lot of people don't have issues with glycerin-based lubes. I did. Um, and that is really why we started Quim, or, I started making my own vaginal health products because after 8 years of enduring this cycle, I was like, okay, how do I get ahead of this? How, if this is the body that I have, how do I proactively care for it? In the same way that, if you have a history of skincare in your family, you're going to wear a lot of sunscreen. You're going to be really fastidious about that. And when I started looking, doing my own research, I wasn't seeing any like proactive care. You can take you can take probiotics. I found a few ingredients on the internet, or like talking to, the person who runs the health and wellness section in the Whole Foods. And I found a few things that worked for me, but I wasn't able to get them consistently. So I just ordered some candy trays off of Amazon, ordered some organic tea tree, organic vitamin E oil, and just started making my own suppositories. It was
wow.
definitely a pretty messy process at first. I definitely learned a lot. I mean, yeah, there was lots of mess. And then fast forward a few years later, I started working in the cannabis industry and learning more about the topical benefits of cannabis. What I learned is that cannabis is a vasodilator, so it is going to increase blood flow to the part of your body that you apply it to. So in a vaginal or vulvular or clitoral situation, if you're applying it in and around those parts of your body, will increase blood flow, which will augment your body's natural lubrication, which is amazing. Um, and
And it's
also,
particularly really effective down there, is what they
yeah,
say, right?
yeah. I mean, that's in my experience and the experience I think of the people who are repeat customers. Yeah, it really works. So that is the origin story of Quim.
That is awesome. It's unfortunate that you had to go through what you had to go through, and especially for 8 years. My God, I can't even imagine. Because I mean, everybody. I think most women have had some sort of yeast infection or UTI, and it's not fun at all. And there's a lot of pain that's involved as well. It's not just necessarily, I have a UTI. It's like it
Oh
just
no,
really affects
completely.
your lifestyle.
Yeah, it could like completely knocks you out. And then on top of that, something you mentioned earlier is we really, even in very like close, comfortable, small groups of people, women or whomever, um, it's rarely spoken about. And I think to me, that was actually really one of the biggest goals of Quim was not just to create products that help foster sustainable practices of self-care proactively, having daily rituals where we can care for our bodies that make it such that you don't have to get a UTI or yeast infection. You can just create a ritual around it, and then you won't need to go towards these, won't need to use these very reactive products that tend to have a lot of negative side effects. So if we use, frankly, plants that have been used for these applications for thousands of years on a daily basis, we're able to just keep things in okay, happy order, keep your Quim happy. And I think that there's, by having a daily ritual around it, it allows us to connect a little bit more deeply with our bodies and I think decrease the shame around it. And, the goal is always to normalize these health concerns or health issues because, 9 out of 10 women or people with vaginas or menstruating people experience pain with menstruation. 75.
That high?
Yeah, 75% of people with vaginas will experience at least one yeast infection. 60% of people with vaginas will experience at least one UTI. And the thing about UTIs is once you get one, it increases your likelihood of getting another one.
Exactly. And it's horrible. It sucks. But yeah, so that's why I was so happy to connect with you. So I actually have two of the products that you sell online that can be
Yeah.
sold anywhere. And you also have, because your company's based in California, I know you
Yeah.
have also some
So we
unique
have,
products.
yeah, these ones are our THC products, which you can get in California dispensaries.
Oh, nice. And what are those for?
Um, this one, Night Moves is our first product. It's a MCT oil base. It has a little bit of Damiana, a little bit of tea tree. Definitely more of a THC, it's more THC heavy product. This product has 350 milligrams of THC. And so that's going to really increase that vasodilating property, increase, your natural lubrication, heightened sensation, hopefully make it easier to achieve orgasm. And then this one is our latex safe formula. This one is our THC, sort of a THC version of Smooth Operator. So it's an aloe vera base. This one is compatible with latex condoms and silicone toys. And in my experience, this is varies person to person. This one, in my experience, this one definitely kicks in a little bit faster. So it's like you'll start to feel the effects.
Kicks in faster than the Smooth Operator.
No, I would say those are about the same time, but of the THC products, this one takes a little bit longer for me to feel the effects. But this one also has a little bit of tea tree in it, so I feel sort of an instant cooling. And the vasodilating effects really make me feel a warming sensation. So I think sort of the duality of those just alert my body to more sensation generally, which I think is,
Very cool.
yeah,
But those products are only available in California.
currently, yes. We are
Because
working.
you can't go across borders because of the THC in them.
Yes.
So these products have CBD in them.
hmm
So having CBD versus just having this THC, just what does it do? How does it enhance it? Does it just enhance all the feels type of thing?
I mean,
Um,
it really depends on the reason, what you're looking to get out of the products. I think the CBD products, they will still have that vasodilating effect. So they're still going to increase blood flow. I think when you have a higher potency of CBD, it can really help with inflammation and subconscious clenching of the pelvic floor. A lot of, if you experience PCOS or endometriosis, it can make penetration very can be painful. And this can help relax those smooth muscle tissues, which can make penetration a lot less painful, and make post-sex inflammation, aka puffy taco, maybe my favorite vaginal euphemism, really deep.
I've never heard that. That's awesome.
I love it because even if you haven't heard of it, you know exactly what it means.
That's awesome. I'll have to use that in the future. So this also, I was taking a look at the ingredients. In terms that you were mentioning MCT oil, which actually is used for tinctures as well, for CBD tinctures.
Yeah.
So why did you want to put MCT oil and olive oil, tea tree oil, almond oil? Wow. So why specifically those oils? Is it the combination of them, or?
Yeah, each one of those oils has different medicinal properties. So I think, each one does a slightly different thing. And I think in my experience, a blend of oils has the nicest consistency.
Yeah, no, it's really very smooth. And it comes in a nice little bottle like this. And it's just, a pump, basically. But it doesn't have any kind of strong scent or anything to them. I don't know if the other products do at all, but
no, we never, we're never going to put an ingredient in there that is, its sole purpose is scent. I find that I really love the smell of Happy Clam. I think a lot of it's the Damiana in there, which has this sort of chamomile-esque smell. But those are all, the smell is a byproduct of effective plants. It's not about having we would never put a fragrance in there.
Right, no perfumey. Yeah, so it's very light smelling, and the oil consistency, it feels like an oil, basically, right? So once you put it on, how long does it last, essentially?
I think it depends on how much you're going to use. It depends on, if your skin is really dry, if you just got out of the shower. It's going to vary person to person. Also, how much, how slippery do you like to be? How, it's really a personal preference.
Right. So I guess there is no limit. You can just put as much as you want. It's not like it's going to cause you any harm by using more, so to speak.
Definitely not.
Right. That's so awesome. So are you going to be coming out with new products? I mean, just in terms of these 4 products, was there a reason why you created these formulations, the Smooth Operator and Happy Clam?
Yeah, so we started in the THC industry, or in the cannabis industry in California. Then we realized that there were a lot of people who wanted to try our products who didn't live in California, and by launching CBD products, we would be able to sell direct to consumer, and also, with retailers like Urban Outfitters or Good Vibrations. And when we launched the CBD products, Happy Clam was the first one we launched, and it took about 1.5 years to develop because we didn't want to just we didn't want it to just be the CBD version of this, or like the diet version. We wanted to make sure that if we couldn't include THC, that we were looking at other adaptogenic plants that had other health benefits. I think, in 2019, you're seeing like CBD in like shampoo, dog treats, like putting CBD in a product is just, I think CBD is an amazing compound. It's really great actually in dog food, maybe not so much in shampoo because you're washing it out,
right?
But
it's counterintuitive.
Yeah, exactly. But we really wanted to make sure we were being really intentional about using CBD and launching another product, and something that was going to be really designed for proactive care.
That's so awesome. And so Modern Aging viewers actually get 10% off, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, so people can try it out and see if they like it. I think that, everybody should have a healthy and happy quim. Quim, as as I heard, is an actual word that the Brits use.
Yeah, so quim is actually archaic, sort of 17th century Victorian slang for vagina. And it frankly was used pretty pejoratively. But I think there is a rich tradition of taking back words that have been used to put you down. And I think, reclaiming your power in that. So I love it. Every now and then we get an email from someone who's like, I implore you to change the name of this company. It's so offensive. And I think for me, that's just a great opportunity to be like, what is so offensive about being called an organ that has the ability to bring forth life into the world, that can bleed, on a recurring basis and not die? What a beautiful symbol of evolution and cycles and just, resilience. I think it's so cool.